One. I'm John Miglosh for the WDMA and the International Society for Strategic Marketing. Well, we're back on the news beat again today. Got the newest news for you to think about. Okay, so today I want to talk about Gillette. And I did a piece a couple of months ago on the one-handed defensive back for the Seattle Seahawks. Gillette did a great ad. I thought it was great, showing the dad raising this kid who had he was born with some problem that they had to amputate his hand, and the dad just trained him like a coach, and his brother, and both of them started with the Seahawks. Their very first game that they played started on the same day, so that was like super cool, hey? And I just thought it was great the way it showed the relationship between a dad and a son in a positive light, which we need more of today. And we all need to be better dads, all of us guys. We all do, no matter how old our kids get. But they came out with a new ad the other day, about a week ago, and there's a lot of comment about it. So let's go over here to listen to what CNN. I don't do CNN very often, but what CNN has to say about it.
Over the weekend addresses serious issues like toxic masculinity, sexual harassment, bullying, and Me Too. Gillette plays on its famous tagline and asks, "Is this the best a man can get?" It tweeted Friday, "Isn't it time we stopped excusing bad behavior?" Gillette has more videos lined up as part of a larger branding effort, which includes donating $1 million a year for the next 3 years to organizations like Boys and Girls Club of America. There were some who said, "Oh, it's too progressive. I just want to buy a."
She just gets into my point. I just want to buy a razor. I use a twin blade, and you can see I don't use it much. And I bought on eBay. I bought like a case of them, of Panasonics, because I was afraid it was going away. You could only buy them in foreign countries. So I bought some Panasonic or something like that, or some other name brand, that Persona, that's it. And I don't think Panasonic ever made razor blades anyway. So I've got dozens of them, or maybe hundreds, and I will have razor blades till the day I die. So I don't worry about it too much, and it was like for $10 or something. And so, but that is a question. The question is, how much do we want to put ourselves out here? And this was, the Nike question. There's several big questions that this touches on. One is, you need to get, yesterday we talked about how you need to get above the clutter. You need to get attention. And if your ad gets on CNN, you're getting attention, right? And it's in The Guardian, and it's in the BBC, and it's a bunch of places. It came up a lot. So that's one question. Now, when Hamm's beer, not Hamm's beer, Old Style, for decades was God's country. It was made in God's country. It was in Wisconsin, so I always liked to drink Old Style. I thought it was good. But they sold the brewery out to somebody else, Coors or something. Not Coors. It was one of those. I think it was, anyway. And all of a sudden, the ads all changed to girls in bikinis playing volleyball or something. Something like that. Beach-themed beer ads are not unusual. It's one of the problems with that Gillette ad. They sort of hint at the Me Too and the sexual tension, between men and women, and that men overstep their bounds. That's true, and so do women. I'm being totally non-sexist. That sex is used by both sexes in different ways, but also used. And anyway, I stopped buying the beer. Point is, it got my attention, but it didn't get my purchase. And the farther you go apart, I'm not telling you what to do. I like the Nike ad, except for Colin Kaepernick, not because he was I thought kind of a whiny crybaby, but he didn't play very long. You know, he had one good year when nobody realized he was going to run with the ball every time he got in trouble. And once they did, that was it for him, you know, because he really couldn't pass very well. So why take and yes, it wasn't his stand that cost him, because there's plenty of players who agreed with him who are still playing. It was that he wasn't very good. And one of the things about sports that we like is that no matter what your politics, to a very large extent, if you can perform on the field, then you can keep your pulpit and you can, keep winning. So there's a lot of crazy in sports that flows out of very talented people. And I would say Hollywood as well. They want us to take them seriously. Well, be a good actor, and I will take you seriously that way, at least. And the better you are, look at somebody like Meryl Streep. Fantastic. I remember reading an article about her where she was playing somebody dead or somebody dying or something, and she had him bring in a huge block of ice, and she hugged the block of ice and basically put herself into hypothermia, turned herself blue, and to do the scene. Okay, I don't think I'd do that. Maybe $1 million. What they pay her millions of dollars. That's just loving your craft, I think, and I give her credit for that. So anyway, the problem here on Gillette is some cultures encourage bullying. I was bullied, and I don't think of myself as being a bully. My dad was really against that. But my brother says I was a terrible bully, and we've worked together since the 70s. So, maybe, life is tough, so life is tough. Life is tough, and men and women have to get along. And what I think is the hardest part is the beginning of that CNN, the beginning of the CNN piece says Gillette addresses serious issues. And I would say you don't address serious issues in a commercial very often. And if you do, it may not help your sales. That's my boil down. Okay? I don't think Gillette addressed the issues. I don't think they discussed the issues. I think they showed some issues that are very difficult to interpret. Yeah, men bully. Yeah, men break up fights too. Okay, there's a lot of good men. I like the other ad with the one-handed defensive back better. Okay, and now moving on that same line. Okay, this is really basically an ad in DM News for a device that lets you interview customers on. You just have to they just have to click a link, and they can talk to you, and or maybe they just record it. I'm not 100% sure about the tech. It's from Focus Vision, which is a leader in cameras and teleconferencing and AI and AV equipment. So anyway, the point they make is that everybody wants to measure customer experience. And everybody wants to do a good job with customer experience. That's the problem with those ads, They don't get at customer experience at all. And I don't buy Gillette blades, right? They don't talk about why their blade is any good, so I don't know why you should buy them, except that they spend more on advertising and goodwill than they do on making a good product. So maybe the shareholders like it. Anyway, so the guy makes the point we knew 23% of customers are not satisfied with the quality in a particular restaurant of the food. What does that tell you? You don't know. Okay? We were missing the customer's voice. And I think that's true. And I think it's really hard to get. And the problem is that the vast majority of your customers just want to buy something. They don't want a customer relationship. No matter what you think. They want to buy something. They want it to work. They want a fair price. If they have problems, they want you to talk to them then. But mostly we don't. Mostly we want hassle-free buying. I bought 2 mattresses at Hassle-less Mattress, so I'm a big fan of that. Okay, but this thing does give an easy way to hear from your customers, and I think that's great. I'm not sure about the legal issues about whether you pay them to be used in ads, or are they signing off, or all that stuff. But customers can narrate. They had a brand, and then they had a competitor, and what came out of the customer voice was one customer was high priced but high service. The other one was low priced and lots of good deals. And that is the way it comes out. That's the way it should come out. Give the customers a choice. I'm John Miglautsch. Subscribe. If you're on Periscope especially, subscribe and get the little alerts. You can do that on YouTube as well, but it doesn't work as well.